Your dog's paws are twitching, his eyes are darting behind closed lids, and somewhere in that sleeping brain, something is happening that scientists are only just beginning to understand. Is he dreaming? And if he is, what is he actually seeing? Because here's the strange part, we know animals sleep. We know their brains show the same electrical patterns as ours during rest, but we have no way to ask a cat what it saw last night. So, how do we know anything at all about what's happening inside that silent, twitching skull? Let's start with the moment scientists realized animals might be dreaming at all. In 2001, researchers at MIT did something remarkable. They recorded the brain activity of rats while the rats ran through a maze, then they recorded that same brain activity while the rats slept, and the patterns matched, not roughly, almost exactly. The rats' brains were replaying the maze step by step, turn by turn, as if they were running it all over again in their sleep. This wasn't guesswork. This was measurable, repeatable, scientific proof that an animal's brain relives its day while it rests. But here's where things get strange. If a rat can replay a maze in its mind, what does a lion replay? What does a whale replay, floating in total darkness for a third of its life? And what about you? What if the line between animal dreams and human dreams is thinner than we ever imagined? Let's go deeper. For most of history, humans assumed dreaming required something special: language, self awareness, a soul, even. Animals were seen as instinct machines, reacting to the world without any inner experience of it. But that idea started collapsing the moment scientists looked closely at sleep itself. Nearly all mammals experience something called REM sleep, rapid eye movement. It's the stage where human dreaming happens most vividly. And birds have it too. So do reptiles, in a simpler form. Even octopuses, creatures separated from us by 500 million years of evolution, show sleep cycles that look eerily similar to REM. Think about that for a second. An octopus, a creature with a brain spread through its arms, possibly dreaming. Then scientists discovered something unexpected. In 2019, a study published in iScience recorded octopuses changing color and skin texture while asleep, not randomly, in patterns that match their waking behavior, like camouflaging from a predator or striking at prey. One researcher described it as watching the octopus act out a scene, except there was no scene, just memory, replaying itself in the dark. If an octopus can do that, what does that mean for animals far closer to us? Elephants sleep only 2 hours a day in the wild, the least of any mammal ever recorded, and yet they still dream. Zoo elephants have been observed lying down, twitching, vocalizing softly, exhibiting all the signs of dream sleep despite their brutally short rest windows. Which raises a haunting question. If sleep is so dangerous and costly for a prey-conscious animal like an elephant, why does evolution insist on preserving the dream state at all costs? That's the real mystery, because dreaming isn't cheap. It uses energy, it leaves animals vulnerable, lying still while predators roam. If evolution is ruthless about cutting anything unnecessary, dreaming should have disappeared millions of years ago in prey species. But it didn't. It survived, which suggests dreaming isn't a glitch of the brain. It's doing something essential. Here's one leading theory. Dreams may be how the brain rehearses survival. In a groundbreaking study on zebra finches, researchers found that sleeping birds fired the exact neural sequences used for singing, essentially practicing their song while unconscious. The birds that practiced more in their sleep sang more accurately the next day. Sleep wasn't rest, it was training. Now apply that to a predator. A young cheetah sleeping after a failed hunt might be replaying the chase, adjusting the angle, correcting the mistake, not consciously, but somewhere in dream logic, sharpening the skill for tomorrow. That reframes everything. Dreaming might not be a strange side effect of a resting brain. It might be one of evolution's oldest training grounds, a place where animals fail safely, over and over, until they get it right. But then comes the question that keeps researchers up at night. Do animals know they're dreaming? Or is it just replay? With no awareness watching it happen, we still don't fully know. But there's a clue. In REM sleep, most mammals experience something called muscle atonia, a kind of temporary paralysis that stops the body from acting out the dream. In a famous experiment, scientists disabled this mechanism in cats. And what happened next stunned them. The sleeping cats stood up. They stalked invisible prey. They pounced at nothing, hissed at shadows only they could see. Their bodies were acting out a dream that until that moment had been locked entirely inside their heads. That single experiment changed how scientists think about animal minds. It suggested something we'd resisted admitting for decades, that inside a sleeping animal, there might be a full, immersive experience, a world as real to them in that moment as yours is to you right now. So what do animals think happens when they sleep? Maybe they don't think anything at all in the way we do. Maybe there's no story, no narrator, no sense of this is a dream, just raw experience, chases, songs, fear, comfort. Played on a loop the brain can't quite turn off. Or maybe, in ways we can't measure yet, something closer to imagination is happening. A cat, somewhere tonight chasing a bird that doesn't exist, a whale drifting through a memory of open ocean, a dog running beside you in a world only he can see. And if that's true, then every sleeping animal on this planet is quietly living a second life. One we'll never witness, one we can only glimpse for a moment in a twitching paw or a flickering eye. So the next time you watch your dog dreaming, remember this. You're not just looking at a body at rest. You might be looking at a mind, somewhere else entirely.